All right. Every happy Glocktober to everybody. Today's episode is actually going to be today's episode is going to be about what Gen Glock should you buy. Now, this is infused with a story time that I will be talking about why I didn't and never probably will buy the backstrap Glocks, which is the Gen 4 and the Gen 5, if I'm not mistaken. But why I like the Gen 3 and why I won't be getting the Gen 4 or 5. Number one, the Gen 4 or 5 of the aftermarket is basically playing catch up. And let's just talk about the fact that for their slogan to be perfection, the aftermarket products show that everybody just wants to basically change everything about the Glock. There are people, the perfectionists, who say that, oh, Glock is fine. Yet, Glock is fine. If you don't know AK stuff, that's actually about the AK, but I digress. People think that the Glock is fine. Me personally, I don't. I made a video not too long ago. Matter of fact, I might post it here where I was shooting the OEM Glock. And it was fine. It was okay. But once you shot custom, it's like you don't want to go back. It's like once you've been rich, you don't want to be poor again. Now, I'm not saying that because, everybody's poor in this economy. But I'm saying once you've got accustomed to something and you've had better, you want better. It's like once you've got a girl that don't cheat, you want a girl that don't cheat. Once you've got a dude that don't beat you, you want a dude that don't beat you. Like, you know what I mean? Once you got better, you want better. Now, that's why I go Gen 3 has the biggest aftermarket accessories available to it. The most accessories available and in stock. That is important. And the market has basically already been caught up, and it's basically, if you're going any gen for Glock, everybody's going to say Gen 3, because if you don't like something, you can change it very easily. Now, Gen 4 and 5, the MOS plate really destroyed it, in my opinion. The plates are not very, I don't know why they didn't just do an RMR cut. At this point, like, I know there are people like, oh, I have a doctor's cut. Oh, I want to mount a RMR on the rail with Picatinny rail. Yeah, whatever. But the vast majority of people are telling Glock to catch up. They just upgraded their trigger last year, and they've been out since the 90s. And people are the first thing that people started doing when the aftermarket parts, accessories thing really started to explode was the triggers, because everybody knows Glock triggers really stink. So why go Gen 4, Gen 5? You could always go for an optics plate system or whatever. And me personally, the only time I really seen that being a valuable thing is if you are on a 1911, so you can switch optics and all of that stuff because they don't really have a RMR standard plate unless you get the Infinity arms or the Infinity slide that is cut for it, or you get a adapter plate for the RMR. You really have to get it cut for the specific optic that you're getting for 1911s. For the most part, unless you get the optics plate system. Glock's not really like that. You can get the RMR cut out of the box because the diameter of the red dot, the screws can fit in the plate without any modification. So you can just basically direct mill an RMR to it. No problem. No dealio. And you have your choice. You have a pretty decent choice of sights in the front, sights in the back. Plus the Glock aftermarket sights choices themselves really sold me. But you can still get a Gen 4, Gen 5 without the MOS cut. But at that point, Isn't it just an Ambi Gen 3? I mean, what's the real difference? Maybe I'm missing something, guys. Please let me know in the comments below. But maybe I'm really just like, oh, well, you didn't know that it had this. No, I don't like the back straps. I don't like my pistols to be ambi. Why would I? Why would I? And I don't like my pistols to have a optics system. Like my stuff direct mill, direct cut, direct thread. That's what I like. So that's why I think the Gen 3 is superior. Me personally, I think the Gen 3 is superior. Now, story time. Because I didn't want to make a separate video about this. Walking down the street with my dad one day and kicked over something. I stepped on something black. Like, what the heck is this? It was a freaking Glock backstrap in the middle of the sidewalk. Just destroyed, damaged. Somebody just tossed it because it's a useless accessory. I guess they thought that they didn't need it. I was like, okay, well, maybe let me look into this, see, because I knew exactly what it was. So I was like, maybe they just didn't know what it was. Maybe it's just like, I like the one that's on here. I'm not going to change it. I don't want comfortability, blah, blah, blah. Now, granted, options are good. If you like options, right? Those are good. Options are always good. If you got fatter swell in your hand or you got smaller hands, you know, get a skinnier backstrap. That is cool. That is cool. But defeats the purpose. It adds, all of them still have the Glock angle on the backstrap. Back to story time. I'm jogging in the winter and I step on something. I hear something crunch. Same neighborhood, different part of the neighborhood. I pick it up. It's another Glock backstrap. I'm like, man, these must be trash because people are just throwing them out. It's like they say about used cars. If you want to see what ain't gonna last, just look at the used lot. Yeah. So I pretty much got a hint from my neighborhood and neighbors that they don't like the back straps. They think they're trash and they don't want to, you know, keep them. Obviously, because they're just throwing them out. They wasn't even in the trash. They were just on the sidewalk. So that should say something right there. But they have the same grip angle. This is the 1911 grip angle. And you know it's bad when they have the phrase Glock thumb. Glock bite. And now granted, I think it's from people holding it not properly, but I've got Glock knuckle. That's what it's called, Glock knuckle. I've gotten Glock knuckle shooting my friend's OEM because the angle is just like, it's not forgiving. And with this being popular polymer, it does vibrate more, I guess you could say. It after a while, it kind of hurts my hands. It's hard to really explain it. Like, I can feel the shock more than something like this. Even though this does have the polymer grip, it still has the metal frame. So I can, where the jarring and stuff is really happening, I really don't feel that as much with something like this compared to something like this. You know, most expensive pointing tool I've ever used. Anyways, Gen 3 is the way to go, guys. Yeah, people don't like back straps. They don't like the angles. They don't like the triggers. And me personally, I don't like my pistols ambi. Rifles, yes, I'll take that ambi all the way. But pistols, no. Maybe I'm just missing the point, but I don't want my pistols ambi. I want my lights ambi so that I can activate it on both sides, just in case I need to, you know. But yeah, I don't really see the point of that, me personally, because I only have it on one side. I train to shoot it with both hands, but I can still, like, with my left hand, I can still drop the magazine. I'll just have to use a different finger, drop the mag. I can still shoot, and I can still lock back the slide. It's not really a big deal. Like, I don't see why. Now, dropping the slide is a little bit more cumbersome because I'm really afraid to do it with this finger because I'm afraid that it's going to kill me. So I drop it like this. But I don't see the point of ambi pistols. Maybe I'm missing something. Leave it in the comments down below. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. And let me know if you recognize this holster. Peace.